Good morning. Hey, Tyson.
Hey everyone. I'm just gonna give everybody like 2 more minutes to jump on. Okay. Good morning, everybody. Thanks for joining our pre-application conference this morning. Just some quick housekeeping items. This meeting is going to be recorded. It's already started recording. We will post it to the website. So if there are questions that you have afterward, if you want to come back and watch it or re-listen to it, you're able to do that. Or anybody who wasn't able to make it to this conference, they will also have access to view and get these slides. Also, we will be Since we will be posting this on the website, you'll have access to it, and I believe we'll even be emailing it out to anybody who wants it. Please keep all of your questions for the end in an effort to be fair and transparent to anyone who is interested in applying. We want to make sure that all of the questions are in kind of one easy, accessible place. So we'll just have that as part of the recording at the end of this presentation. And we will also go over how to submit questions after this conference. And we'll go over that. Those will also be posted on the website for anybody who wants access to it to have to be able to see the questions and the answers. I'm Kevin Austin with Housing and Community Development. And I've been with Salt Lake County for a little over 2 months at this point, so it's very likely that I might not have answers to all of the questions that any of you might have right at this moment, but I will make sure and be able to get those answers to you accurate and timely and back to you as fast as possible. So this is the RFA pre-application conference for lead-based paint certified. How am I looking at? So this is for the clearance assessments, or the assessments and clearance tests. And here's our agenda. We're going to go over this pretty quick. I'm hoping to keep everything in this meeting to around 30 minutes. It might not even take us that long, but we'll go over the purpose of the RFA and the overview, estimated funding, minimum requirements, scope of work, the bid award, insurance requirements, our application process, also the process of evaluation and scoring, the timeline, and then we'll have some spots at the end to go over questions, as well as specific instructions how to ask questions once this webinar conference has ended. So the purpose of this is to provide services for completing EPA risk assessments and clearance testing for lead-based paint housing units projects in Salt Lake County. These can be homeowner or rental units. And the county will establish a pool of consultants who will be asked to provide services based on project availability. The estimated available funding that we have, we're looking at about $208,000 for risk assessments. We have estimated that will be about 320 assessments throughout Salt Lake County, and this will be over the next 48 months time period. For clearance tests and reports, we're looking at about $132,000, same over 48 months with an estimated 240 reports. Minimum requirements to be able to apply to be part of this program and assist the county with these projects. You have to comply with all OSHA and RCA regulations. You must be registered with the Utah State Division of Corporations and Commercial Code. If you have questions of whether you have done that or if you need to sign up, here is the phone number that you can call. There's either a local Utah one or there's toll-free 8771, and then also you can visit commerce.utah.gov. And then the contractor must also provide a unique entity identifier, and you can get this through sam.gov. We have included a little YouTube video link, or a link to a YouTube video that gives some pretty detailed instructions on how to go through sam.gov to get that UEI. So the scope of work, obviously with risk assessments, there will be an on-site investigation to determine the presence, type, and severity and location of lead-based paint hazards. And then also we're hoping that you can help provide suggested ways on how to control them. Inspections and risk assessments can be completed at the same time. I know that has been a question in the past. They don't have to be two different instances to go out. They can be completed simultaneously. There's also the clearance report. Properties must pass the lead dust clearance standard. You can see here the difference for floors, window sills, and window wells. Part of the scope of work, it's a little bit more detailed than this in the RFA, so please make sure if you have any questions on what the scope of work looks like, go to our website, and we'll go over that in a little bit, or in the next couple slides as well, but open up the RFA links and there is a pretty detailed list of what the scope of work looks like, so make sure to not only be just going off of this presentation, but to be reviewing the RFA as well. So the bid awards, each project will be bid according to the scope of work that's provided by the county based on Healthy Homes assessment. The lowest reasonable bid from the qualified generals contractors pool will be selected. We did put in lowest reasonable bid because we aren't just going to be going and choosing the lowest bid out there. We want to make sure that all of the components in the scope of work and what was provided by the county can be met reasonably and be done well. And so we, again, just won't go with the lowest bid. We will go with the lowest reasonable bid to make sure that the households that we're serving are getting the best services as possible. For insurance requirements, my assumption is this is pretty straightforward for everybody, but we will need the insurance requirements are for workers' compensation, employers' liability insurance required by the state, commercial and general liability in the minimum amount of $1,000 per occurrence with a $2 million general policy aggregate with Salt Lake County named as an additional insured. There's some professional liability may be required depending on the type of services that are being provided. And then commercial automobile liability insurance that provides coverage in the minimum amount of $1 million per occurrence. So now to the meat of how to apply. If you've applied with Salt Lake County in housing community development in the past, or with different grant cycles, we have changed our application process. It used to only be through Zoom grants, and we have moved completely away from Zoom grants and are only working in Smartsheets. The best way to access the Smartsheet application is by visiting our website, which is included in this presentation slide here. It's included in a couple different slides. Like I had mentioned before, we will post these on our website, as well as we can share this presentation with anybody who wants it through email. I'm guessing most of you have already seen this page since you had to go to this page to register for this conference, but we just want to make sure that all applications are being submitted through the website, through here. As you go to the website, you can scroll down to the links and resources pages, and that's where you'll see the specific RFA that you might want to apply for. There are 3 different ones, so as you're going through them, make sure that you are applying for or opening up the ones that you actually want to apply for, so that you can see that there's RFAs for the 3, and then the applications are listed under the resources. This is what you'll see as you open up the application. This is, again, make sure that you are applying for the correct application based on eligible activities. We have our website here again at the bottom of this slide. But as you open up the application, this is what you'll be looking at. So the lead-based paint risk assessment and clearance testing applications. This is where you'll go through, enter all of your basic information, as well as application narrative or project or program narrative. And these are on the next slide. So there's really just 4 basic questions through the application in Smartsheets that you will be required to answer. The first question is just business history. We do have a word limit on all of these, so please make sure your responses are concise. But for business history, we want the number of years that you've been in business, the summary of your qualifications, as well as types of projects you have completed. For question 2, experience in risk assessments and clearance testing. In this response, please just include 2 references from past consultant work. Question 3 would be the capacity for future work. We want to make sure that the pool of consultants and contractors that we're pulling from have the capacity to pick up and do the projects that we are hoping to accomplish over the next 48 months. Please also include in your response the number of rehabilitation jobs your business anticipates being able to complete within the 12-month period, what % of the work your staff will complete, and what % of that work will be subcontracted out to someone else or a different firm. And then question 4, staff expertise. We just want staff names, current positions, years of experience, and the types of things that they are experts in, as well as defining how the staff complies with OSHA, as well as how they will comply with our CRA. There are also some required attachments that you will have to provide that are not included in the Smartsheet application. We will need copies of liability insurance, workers' compensation insurance, as well as Utah certified lead-based paint firm certificate. Those 3 you'll just have to provide directly for us. There are also these other 3 attachments that are included on the website: the request for protected status, environmental compliance practice, and example of agreement. The environmental compliance practice needs to be signed at the bottom. We recognized yesterday that there wasn't a signature line, so they can just be signed anywhere near the bottom of the document, and that can be, that'll satisfy what we need. The complete and request application status. This is, well, you only need to fill this out if it's applicable to you as an agency or a firm. If it's not, just acknowledge that you don't have any intention on requesting for protected status. And then the example agreement is just an example of if you are chosen by the committee for your firm to be part of this pool, this will be the agreement that we will enter into. And so please just review that agreement. And as you're submitting the application, you can also submit comments if there are updates or changes to the agreement that you would like to be made if you were to work with us. And again, I promise I have this, our website link all throughout this presentation. And so you can access that pretty easily when these slides are up. Evaluation and scoring. Excellent 5. The application exceeds expectations with an excellent probability of success and achieving all requirements. Good or 4, it still has a very good probability of success and achieves all requirements reasonably. An acceptable application is 3, and that has reasonable probability of success, but potentially falls short on some of the requirements. And then poor, unacceptable is when the applicant falls short of expectations, has low probability of success, or just completely fails all of the requirements. The application evaluation. So Salt Lake County staff will review the applications, make sure all of the required attachments are included and all of the fields have been filled out completely to make sure that the application is complete and ready to be evaluated by a selection committee. The selection committee will then go through each application. For an applicant to be accepted, they must have an average score of 3 or above to be entered into the contractor pool. Half of what is going to be scored on is experience, so business history and experience in rehab projects. And then the other half will be capacity for future work and staff expertise. So timeline, this is very important. We'll go over on the next slide how to submit questions through the website, but all questions are due by March 6th, Wednesday at 11 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Any questions that are submitted after that will not be answered or accepted. Again, March 6th is the last day to submit questions. The applications due in Smartsheets are due Wednesday, March 13th. And those need to be submitted by 3 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. It's helpful for everyone to know that at 3 p.m. on the dot, the applications will be closed. So if they are not submitted by 3 p.m., the applications will not be accepted. Here again is the link to our website where you can access the applications. I will suggest to submit these applications well before 3 o'clock on Wednesday the 13th. We all know that there's always potential for some technology malfunction or just things not happening. And because we do have such a sharp deadline and cutoff time, I want to make sure that everybody has a chance to get their applications submitted completely and not have any issues trying to upload them as you're going through. After the county has reviewed all of the applications and make sure that they meet all the minimum requirements, they will be taken to a committee meeting that's held on Tuesday, March 19th. And then on Tuesday, March 26th is when you can expect to be notified of recommended award amounts or anticipated notices to proceed. So we're looking at March 26th from when everybody will know if they were selected into the contractor pool or not. And finally, again, please submit all questions after we get off this webinar through the website. The Smartsheet link is included on this last slide. Yeah, and we just want to make sure, again, that all questions are posted on the website so that everyone who maybe wasn't part of this conference or has similar questions or maybe didn't even know that they had a similar question, but after they saw yours that came up, that everybody has access to all of those questions and all of those answers. And then just as a note, after the application has been closed, please do not contact any county officers, employees, or selection committee members. Does anyone have any questions? I'm going to stop sharing. I can figure out how.
No questions here.
I have no questions, Kevin. I think that was pretty straightforward.
Okay, I think as you get into the website, really the application, the Smartsheet where you fill things out, it's pretty straightforward. It just kind of goes in order. So just kind of follow those instructions. As you are saving the attachments and uploading them, what's going to happen is in the application, as you get to the bottom, it's going to ask for required attachments to be uploaded. You're going to click on that link and it's actually going to send you an email. And then that email is going to come from Smartsheets and it will have directions on how to upload those attachments to get back to the actual application. Really the only confusing part is once you click on that upload button, it takes about 5 minutes for Smartsheets to send you all an email back. And what we've noticed over the past few weeks as we've been doing this is many times that email will go to your junk or spam folder. So make sure and be checking those. And I even know that happened with some of the people who were registering even for these pre-application conferences as well.
You know what the email address that link's going to come from will look like?
It's going to say something like, it's probably going to be from Messenger at WebEx, would be my guess. It will certainly be at WebEx. I don't know if it's going to be Messenger or something like that, but it'll be from like an at webex.com.
Okay. Thank you.
Cool. Does anybody else have any other questions?
No, I think I'll just submit them online. I do have a couple of questions, so.
Okay, cool. And I'll be monitoring those daily up until the 6th. And so we should be able to get answers back to you and posted on the website pretty rapidly.
And do you need to, are you going to be asking for acknowledgement that we reviewed those questions or any modifications to the bid?
No, we'll just post our answers and then you can do with the answers what you will.
Okay. I think I'm good.
Cool. Great. Well, happy Wednesday, everybody. I look forward to seeing your applications.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Kevin.